And on Valentine's weekend, the meeting of two teams who've earned a lot of admiring glances from the neutrals this season, while Brighton's points tally will not turn any heads. Their style of play under Graham Potter has certainly been eye-catching. And there are a few more romantic stories in sport right now than Dean Smith leading his boyhood heroes back to the Premier League. If he can bring European football to Villa Park this season, that would really complete the fairy tale. Love has certainly been in the air between Emi Martinez and Villa teammate Jack Grealish this week, after the Argentine compared his captain to his international colleague, the great Lionel Messi. I guess the big question is, can the Midlands Messi do it on a frosty night in Sussex? Alongside me for this Premier League offering is the love doctor himself, David Connolly, as the two teams emerge from the tunnel below us. David, how much are you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. Both teams, love to attack, love to get forward, certainly more possession-based Brighton are, aren't they? But I think Aston Villa just got the balance right at this moment in time, and they're confident, make no mistake.
You didn't bring me any chocolates, by the way?
No, sorry. Was I meant to?
It's the most romantic weekend of the year.
Yes. Our apologies.
Let's get to the all-important team news. Two alterations for Brighton from their last Premier League lineup. That was a 1-1 draw against Burnley. Adam Wibbs line with a ankle problem. He is not in the squad, while Aaron Connolly dropped to the bench. He was out a long time, actually, as David Connolly noted, before the rest of his fellow Brighton subs, Leandro Trossard and Steven Alzate, are the two who come into the team. It's Sanchez in goal, White, Dunk and Byrne in defence, Veltman, Gross, Bissouma and Alzate across midfield, with Alexis McAllister in behind Mopé and Trossard in attack. Just the one alteration for Aston Villa from the team that beat Arsenal last weekend, as Douglas Luiz returns in place of Marvellous Nakamba. Martinez in goal, Cash, Konsa, Mings and Target, their formidable back four this season, with Douglas Luiz and McGinn deepest in midfield, Bertrand Traoré, Ross Barkley and Jack Grealish in behind Ollie Watkins, who hasn't missed a single minute in the Premier League this season, up front. Traoré just coming across to is that replacement shin pads that he's getting, David Connolly?
I don't know, replacement gloves.
Some gloves, yep. I think. Yep. It is a night for gloves and hats and thermal jackets if we've got them, although David and I are not quite that technologically advanced. I don't think the temperatures are quite going to reach the minus conditions that we've seen up and down the country this week on TalkSport and TalkSport 2, but certainly an evening when we could do with the body heat of a full stadium. Sadly, the Amex sparsely populated. We hope, of course, that will change in the not too distant future.
We're just looking over as well at the Villa bench, and John Terry, all smiles, and obviously when you're doing well, as Villa are, that's why he's been linked with managerial jobs and around your neck of the woods as well, Alex.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to get that job at Bournemouth. My understanding is that he was very keen to do so, but maybe they're turning their attentions elsewhere. I think he would have been a good appointment, John Terry. I mean, we've talked in the build-up about Aston Villa's defensive solidity this season. As a former Premier League great in that position, surely he has to take an awful lot of credit, doesn't he, for that?
Well, it's just hard. You just don't know exactly what happens on the training ground, right? Do you? How much control coaches get. You've got Craig Shakespeare there, Premier League winner, obviously with Leicester as well. So terrific coaching staff. Dean Smith's assembled.
It's the voice of David Connolly, the former Republic of Ireland international, your co-commentator here on Game Day on TalkSport 2 this evening. The 10-second countdown is underway on the two big television screens at either end of this fantastic modern arena in the heart of the Sussex Downs. The first whistle is an indication for all of the players, subs and coaches to take a knee. That message continues to be sounded loud and clear. And now Darren England, taking charge of only his 8th Premier League game, gets us off and underway at the end of this feast of football on this chilly Saturday afternoon. One to crank up the fire and tune into the radio. Already some fabulous games that we've brought you live and exclusive across the TalkSport network. Big win for Leicester, coming from behind to heap more misery on champions Liverpool, and a statement result for Manchester City, 3-0 victors over Tottenham to cement their grip on top spot. Here we are at the Amex Stadium. Brighton in their blue jerseys, white shorts and blue socks, shooting from left to right in this first half. Aston Villa in the largely claret shirts with the sky blue sleeves, sky blue shorts and claret socks, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side, being guarded by the not insignificant presence of Robert Sanchez, who's established himself now as Brighton's first choice goalkeeper, the 6'6" Spaniard. And it's a throw in for Brighton, which will be taken by Joel Veltman down the right-hand side. Midway inside Aston Villa territory, Brighton looking to extend their unbeaten run to a club record 6 Premier League games and put further distance between them and the bottom 3. And those in the relegation places would have been left forlorn by Burnley's 3-0 win at Crystal Palace earlier today in the 3 o'clock game in the Premier League. Here's Basuma on the edge of the Aston Villa penalty area, plays it to his left, and now Zate. I wonder if he could have got a shot away there, Basuma. He was unmarked just inside the D. David, should he have gone for goal?
Yeah, maybe, possibly. I mean, in the end, they've actually ended up back at their goalkeeper. But just looking at Brighton here, I think we're a little bit short there from the goalkeeper. That's a Ben White. But looking at Grealish, obviously, he's operating right in front of Graham Potter, and that's probably just what he would have wanted in his first half. I'm sure he's going to be on to Veltman. That's obviously the one area that they need to secure, and I think both sides, Villa are really dangerous. I saw Dan Burnley have a really tough time against Traore, didn't we? And you know, both wingers, Traore, this time Bertrand Traore and Grealish, are in top form.
And it's a problem, isn't it? Because they're 2 first-choice wing-backs this season, Tariq Lamptey and Solly March, both unavailable. March for the foreseeable future. I think Lamptey is not too far away now. He's made such rapid progress, hasn't he, since joining from Chelsea for a bargain £4.5 million that his absence has been felt. Veltman, the Dutch international, filling that right wing-back role this evening. We play 3 minutes here on TalkSport 2. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0, as Jack Grealish is upended by the aforementioned Veltman. Don't think that will be the first time this evening that we see Jack Grealish go to ground, David.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's probably no need to make that foul there, but you know, he's a marked man. Make no mistake.
Grealish, as always, with those socks rolled down almost to the ankles. It's a superstition. It has served him reasonably well as the ball is dinked forward from the free kick. Lewis Dunk there ahead of Bertrand Traore, trying to make a nuisance of himself inside the penalty area, and Dunk, the captain, nods it back to the orange-shirted Sanchez. The floodlight shining brightly here at the Amex Stadium. All kinds of big blue banners filling those raft of empty seats. Seagulls, seagulls, seagulls reads one over on the far side of the ground, up the Albion. They have missed the home crowd in one way because it can be quite an atmospheric venue, but maybe not in another. Graham Potter, with the absence of any supporters inside the ground, has been able to really work on his philosophy. But half wins have been very difficult to come by, David Connolly. In fact, their last 3 wins in the Premier League at home, Brighton, have been in 3 different calendar years.
Yes, I know, that was quite incredible. I read that too.
That must be a first at any level of football. Here is McAllister turning into space inside the centre circle. Brighton seeing lots of the ball early on, and McAllister strokes it out to this right-hand side, and Veltman down the line for Pascal Gross. The German crosses low into the area. Mopé with a little layoff to McAllister, gets his shot away, it's deflected, and Brighton have the first corner of the evening. 5 minutes played, 0-0.
Yeah, it's a good move. I mean, you can see how they play Brighton, make the pitch as big as they can, very expansive. And this is an area which they've had a lot of joy of late, isn't it, down this right-hand side. Gross with the early cross in. Nice little set to McAllister. The shot just had a little block on the edge, though.
Well, they are dangerous from these set pieces, Brighton. Lewis Dunk, always an aerial threat. Dan Burn, just about the biggest player in the Premier League, 6'6", will come forward as well.
Well, he's marked, isn't he? He's man-marked by a smaller player because they keep the bigger players, you know, in the zone, so he can get a run on here, Burn.
Pascal Gross with the right-footed ball from the near touchline as we look, headed away by Tyrone Mings, who's been linked with a move to Manchester United this week. Trossard with a cross blocked behind by Target, and Brighton have a second corner in quick succession. Good early pressure from the home side.
Well, they haven't got the same high line that they did in the reverse game. I don't remember where Danny Welbeck raced away and Mings was inside the opposition half, and you know, they're a little bit deeper here, more conservative away from home.
And a stunning individual goal from Danny Welbeck, who is amongst the Brighton subs tonight. I can see him sat there, not too many seats in front of us, wearing his face mask. And the corner now will be whipped in by Pascal Gross from the right-hand side, headed away by Traore. Alzate in space to bring it down just on the left corner of the penalty area. They've gone all the way back to Basuma now on the edge of the centre circle, but Aston Villa can't get the ball at the moment. Here's Alzate, left-hand side, takes on Cash, down the line to Mopé, low cross is blocked this time. by Douglas Luiz. And Douglas Luiz down by the right corner flag clears it away against Mopé and out for a throw. But Graham Potter applauding the efforts of his players. I think he's going to be delighted, David Connolly, with the way that Brighton have started this match.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, they haven't had the benefit of a rest. I know that he changed the team midweek, but you know, the back unit, midfield unit was pretty similar, whereas you know, Villa after a heavy programme have had a lot of rest. But it's ironically the two centre forwards, two former Brighton players, aren't they? Mopé and Watkins. And they're both obviously adapted to the Premier League really, really well.
Former Brentford players, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Brighton.
Former Brentford. Yeah.
I mean, Watkins, to be fair, double figures for goals in the Premier League, 12 goals in all competitions. Did you expect him, as a former striker, to settle that quickly?
Well, it's hard to say, but I think he's adapted so well. You know, he really has. And I think the sky's the limit for him. I think he could, you know, I think he's got a chance of getting in that England squad.
Really, for this summer?
Well, if he keeps going, he's just got something different that maybe, you know, he's just got a combination of everything. I think he's got a chance.
Would you say he's ahead of someone like Patrick Bamford at this stage, because he's a bit younger than Bamford, and we know Southgate likes that?
And he's a bit pacey, a bit more pacey possibly, yeah.
Free kick here for Brighton, plenty of blue shirts forward. It's midway inside Aston Villa territory. Pascal Gross, who takes the majority of set pieces, swings us in right-footed towards right, leaping at the far post, but heads it against Ollie Watkins. Still in possession, the Seagulls. Veltman with a deep ball towards the 6-yard line and headed clear by Matty Cash. Still, Brighton penning Villa back here, and Dan Burn with a flicked header from 12 yards out, off target, but a half-decent opening, David.
Yeah, absolutely. We can see Dan Burnham, where, you know, in terms of what a threat he is in the box, he always gets his head on things.
Hasn't scored a Brighton goal yet, and it's interesting, I mentioned the threat that they pose from set pieces. Adam Webster isn't playing tonight. I spoke to him a few weeks ago, and he was saying that his girlfriend has told him that he needs to score more goals from corners.
Oh. Well, I mean, he was involved in Iheanacho's goal, wasn't he, in terms of heading it back across goal.
It was a poor goal to concede, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he has got that threat. I mean, he is so big. They look for him, you know, even from, you know, kick-off when they get the ball goes back to centre-half and they drill it out to Burn. Obviously, he's such a threat in the air.
Playing on the left side of that back three for Brighton, has played at left wing-back as well. Must be the tallest full-back that has ever graced the Premier League when he's deployed in that position by Graham Potter. And Graham Potter, of course, a former Birmingham City player. I'm sure he would love to put one over their arch rivals here this evening. And a win for Brighton, and well, they really would start to look fairly comfortable for another season of the Premier League. That was a poor touch from Veltman, back to White. Grealish almost taking advantage, but it's hoisted clear. And Leandro Trossard forcing Tyrone Mings to play out for a throw-in right in front of the Aston Villa bench down below us here at the Amex. Here is McAllister, the Argentine, plays it low out to the left-hand side. The orange-booted Alzate, and he's trying to take on Matty Cash.
Well, there's Dan Burn. Look, he's the left-sided centre-half, almost like, you know, Sheffield United do in terms of bombing on their outside centre-halves.
And a good ball forward by Basuma, cushioned down inside the penalty area by Veltman. Mopé across the face of goal, and it's hooked almost off the goal line by Cash. Here's Basuma now. A really bright, vibrant start from Brighton. Veltman with a cross into the middle and headed over this time by McAllister. That was a huge chance for the Seagulls.
Yeah, brilliant ball in from Veltman. I mean, they've obviously pegged Villa in. I mean, it's a tremendous start from them. Lovely using the switch of play, making that pitch as big as they can. In the end, ball's cleared out to Veltman. Brilliant ball in. And he just gets up across his man, but he just can't quite keep the header down. And look, they're not the biggest, are they, that front unit? You know, you look at them. Gross is pretty small, McAllister's small, Mopé's small, Trossard is quite small. So you're going to do well to get on the end of it. It's got to be a perfect ball in, and that one was. Obviously the bypass Mings comes to two.
Brilliant deep delivery from Veltman. Cost less than £1 million from Ajax. This is a player who's played in the Champions League. David Connolly, what do you get for £1 million?
Title winner. Obviously, you know, title winner as well. A bit like Lallana coming in. So you're bringing two title winners into your dressing room.
And you talked about the character and maybe the big personalities moving on, the likes of Glenn Murray and Duffy as well on loan at Celtic. I think certainly that was a big part of the appeal with Lallana, and probably Veltman as well.
Yeah.
Here is Gross. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Game Day on TalkSport 2. Alex Crook and David Connolly, your commentary team. 11 minutes gone, and we await the first goal. But it's been an enterprising start from the home side. Brighton winning the reverse fixture at Villa Park and never done the league double over Aston Villa. Of course, the two haven't met that regularly in the top flight in recent seasons. Here's Yves Bissouma, the Malian, at the heart of the Brighton midfield.
It's a really good move though again from Brighton. I mean, they've worked it from the goalkeeper. You know, Villa are pushing a lot of players on, and you know, they're just trying to create the little pockets that they're so good at operating in Brighton.
It's been sluggish from Villa though, hasn't it, so far? And as you've already articulated, no excuse really, because they've had a full week to prepare for this game, but it doesn't look like it based on the first 12 minutes.
The thing is, you know, when you're facing Brighton, you know, they're going to try and dominate the ball, so you're just going to have to bide your time, you know, until it's right, gain possession, retain it for a little bit, and then see if you can do something with it.
Here's Veltman down the right-hand side, doesn't have to worry too much about defending so far, and well, maybe that would have been an area of concern for Graham Potter, the combination of Targett and Grealish down this left-hand side, but Grealish has seen very little of the ball in the first 12 minutes.
Well, this is all about the movement, you know, that Brighton possess, whether it's Gross going long, then coming in short. You've got Trossard in a little pocket off the front. Who does Doug Luiz take? Does he take McAllister or Trossard? This is how they try and pull you around, you know. They get players on the outside of you, and then they switch it like that out to Veltman.
Yeah, lovely ball out to this right-hand side. Veltman running at the penalty area, skipping away from Targett, shooting low left-footed. Comfortable save by Martinez, but as you can probably hear, the members of the Brighton coaching staff and the subs sat around us here in the press area, appreciative of the move.
Yeah, that seems deliberate as well, don't you think, as well, from the coaching staff, you know, to give a little bit of support to the lads. Good ball, good switch of play to Veltman, drove on the inside. In the end, the shot just lacked that little bit of power from distance.
Well, you've got Bruno sat to your left, haven't you? Do you remember last time we were here against Wolves, he got more and more vocal as the game went on?
Yes, I do. And they showed real character in that game, didn't they, you know, because they started quite well, but obviously, you know, Wolves got back into the game, and it was a similar story, you know, Brighton dominating the ball, but it looked like it was going to be a case of, well, dominate the ball, we don't do anything with it, and then the other side scored the goals, and at the minute it's pretty similar here, dominating possession, Brighton.
Bruno, a former Brighton player, Spaniard, good friends with Juan Mata at Manchester United, now part of the backroom staff here that Graham Potter has assembled. The ball is switched by Aston Villa. Matty Cash for the diagonal pass out to his left-hand side, and Grealish is on his toes here. Targett's played it back down the line. Grealish flicks it away from Veltman into the penalty area, looks up, sees McGinn in support. McGinn strokes it back to Grealish. The pass is heavy, and that really sums up the opening 14 minutes as far as Aston Villa concerned. Trickles harmlessly away for a goal kick. The first real snapshot of Jack Grealish and his ability to run at Joel Veltman.
Yeah, absolutely. Come short. We saw this against Southampton, you know, dragging Ward-Prowse short and then, you know, spinning in behind. He did exactly the same here. Lovely movement. And look, they try and double up on him, you know, as a lot of teams do. But he's just so difficult to stop. In the end, it was a poor pass back to him, wasn't it, from McGinn?
You're listening to Brighton against Aston Villa on TalkSport 2 with Now TV. Don't forget you can watch Arsenal versus Leeds live tomorrow with an Now TV Sky Sports Pass for just £9.99. Search Now TV.
Well, Dean Smith was, you know, almost in the stand, wasn't he? But he's now in the sort of technical area, almost standing outside it, because he knows this, you know, it's not a good start from them.
Complete contrast to the game live on TalkSport last week against Arsenal. They were 1-0 up inside 2 minutes. Dean Smith took a lofty perch during that game, was almost stood alongside us in the press area and stayed there for certainly the duration of the first half. So I think you're right, that shows that he's rattled by the way that Villa have started this
match.
He
knows he might need to get out there as a manager, you know, and just spark them into life a little bit. Look, no matter what you say about some of the other players, it comes to Grealish and they do come alive. You know, he just needs the ball a little bit more often.
Here he is, Grealish, hugging this left touchline, chalk on his boots. Goes all the way back to Tyrone Mings, 10 yards outside the Villa penalty area, away to our right-hand side. Just trying to get a feel of the ball here. The team from the second city, Martinez strokes it out to the left, and Targett, who nods it down for Tyrone Mings in the left-back position here, Mings, and thrusts it forward, but picked off by Veltman ahead of Grealish, and then Veltman with a 1-2 with Gross. John McGinn, terrier-like in midfield, wins it back for Aston Villa.
He uses his backside like Kenny Dalglish does, you know, he gets low, trying to protect the ball. He's done that near enough every time he's gone to face a contact. Tyrone Mings, I think, has got to do better, you know, in terms of his service up to the front. There's no point just hitting a hit and hope.
There was a goal there in the season, wasn't there, that Villa conceded, or Villa conceded, and it was overturned by VAR because of a marginal offside. I think Dean Smith actually said if that was McGinn there with his backside, he'd have been playing the striker on.
There you go. You know, and look, Kenny Dalglish was the best there, but you know, here we are. Obviously, you know, something you use normally as a centre forward, getting your backside in. McGinn does it really well.
Throw in for Brighton, down by the right corner flag, 16 minutes gone, still 0-0 here on Game Day on TalkSport 2, chested down inside the area by Gross. Mopé with his back to goal, can't bring it under control, and it's steered away by McGinn inside that Villa penalty area. Watkins wants a free kick for a firm but fair challenge from Lewis Dunk, according to Darren England, the referee. And Villa have it back anyway. Douglas Luiz on the halfway line, out to Grealish on this near side. Watkins has stayed down, and Dean Smith frustrated that Villa didn't play the ball out sooner. In the end, Grealish does backheel it into touch. It'll be okay, Watkins. And Brighton have a throw level with Graham Potter's technical area. The Seagulls manager scribbling frantically, David, on a notepad. What will he be writing down?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, just looking at that challenge from Dunk, I mean, he's left his studs in on Watkins' shin. I mean, he goes in, Watkins goes really short, so Dunk knows he can go that close into him because they're so far away from goal. He doesn't have to worry too much about what's behind him, but he certainly left his imprint of his boots on Watkins' shin. Just trying to give him a little hand there, but Watkins has just waved that away because he knows that was a little bit naughty from Dunk.
This is the third live and exclusive commentary we've brought you from the Premier League this Saturday. More to come tomorrow, midday kickoff. Southampton against Wolves along the south coast, quite a long way along the south coast, it has to be said. That's live on TalkSport from midday. And then on Tuesday, 3 matches. Oxford against Tranmere in the Papa John's Trophy semi-final. That's on TalkSport 2 at 6 o'clock. 8 o'clock, a choice of listening on TalkSport. We'll have Leipzig against Liverpool in the Champions League, and Barcelona against PSG also in that competition. That's live on TalkSport 2 on Tuesday night. Of course, Aston Villa hoping to grace European competition next season, and they'll have been buoyed, won't they, by that defeat live on TalkSport this morning for Liverpool against Leicester. 3-1 winners, the Foxes, after falling behind in that match. And really it was Villa's 7-2 demolition of Liverpool that set the tone, didn't it, for this crazy season in the Premier League of freak results. Here's Target, drives low into the penalty area. Barkley tries to hold it up, finds Douglas Luiz just on the edge of the D, right-footed shot. Curler takes a deflection behind for a corner. That's much better from Aston Villa. Yeah, their first real attack that they've constructed. In the end, I think it's a poor pass from Barkley actually to Douglas Luiz, a little bit behind him. He's got to then adjust his footwork, get it out of his feet, try and bend it into that far corner. Brighton get a block on. It's gone out for a set piece. And look, you know, despite their size, Brighton, they've conceded so many goals. You think Maguire's goal against them, there have been so many. Concert previously, one of the players who's come forward here. Grealish has rather slowly made his way over to take the corner on that right touchline, with the blue corner flag fluttering in the wind. And Grealish puts both arms in the air. He's going to play this in right-footed from the left-hand side, headed down but not really away by Basuma. Target pokes it back to Douglas Luiz, and then Douglas Luiz with a good ball to Grealish back down that right-hand side, and he's been fouled by Alzate. It's a free kick right on the touchline. Well, he meant that pass, Douglas Luiz, through the eye of the needle. It's one of the passes of the season, David. Yeah, and a yellow card for Alzate, by the way. I mean, Grealish does great here because he fakes to deliver the ball and then obviously just chops inside, reading that Alzate's going to go to ground. Great play from Grealish. It's a free kick just outside the penalty area, no more than half a yard from the byline. And this is where you can work at, I mean, look, as a player we did so many set pieces like this where the ball is wide and it's like a corner, but you know, you can work a little shot off for somebody on the deck. Let's see if they've got something up their sleeve. We welcome listeners from TalkSport. That's the views of David Connolly, the former Republic of Ireland and Premier League striker. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0, 20 minutes gone, but you join us as Aston Villa have a free kick in a very promising position right on the touchline, only a pace or two outside the penalty area. And Villa have got plenty of men committed forward. It's going to be Traore to take it. Grealish has peeled away unmarked to the far post. He doesn't beat the first man, Basuma, and that will frustrate Messrs Dean Smith and John Terry, both on their feet down on the edge of the dugout below us. And the best chance so far, a header over the bar from Alexis McAllister of Brighton, 6 yards out. Really should have hit the target, but Brighton the dominant force in this game. Aston Villa struggled to get going And it remains with 21 minutes played, Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. There's a free kick here for Brighton. Was that foul conceded by Jack Grealish?
Yeah, and he has got booked for a yellow there. I mean, heavy touch, and he just pulled back Veltman. But it all starts with such a wasteful ball in from Traore. Should have done more with that. Didn't beat the first man.
Ben White plays it back to Lewis Dunk, just on the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Away to our left-hand side. The Brighton subs in their luminous green bibs warming up, jogging on the spot. Percy Tau amongst them down by the corner flag. Meanwhile, Graham Potter, all in black inside the technical area, stands, hands in pockets, barking his orders. Brighton just playing the ball around inside their own final third. It's with McAllister who's come deep, and here's Veltman on the right-hand side in space. It was a good pass out to him. McAllister wants it back, pulling the strings here for Brighton. The young Argentine, only turned 22 on Christmas Eve. This time Brighton give it away, but win it back with Basuma. Here is Trossard trying to dance away from Douglas Luiz on the edge of the area. He's been tripped, and this is a free kick within shooting range. It was clumsy from Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, it was, but it starts actually with Jack Grealish again with a little giveaway. Tries to play the pass inside. It's behind the Villa player, and then Brighton break. Nice little play from Trossard. Little nutmegs here, I think it is, on Douglas Luiz. Just tries to come on the inside. It does bring him down, and you obviously got Gross on the ball, you've got McAllister, as you say. But just looking at Brighton, what they do, they shift the ball with that back three. They've got the three in midfield: Gross, Trossard, McAllister, and they just try and get one of them three, because they've got an overload in there, more or less 3v2, and they worked it really well there to McAllister. Good play.
Come on, Brighton reads a giant banner behind the goal that Martinez is defending, just organising his wall.
Well, he's got two. I think Dan Burn here and Dunk are standing on the end of the Villa wall just to try and block the view of Emi Martinez.
Well, Gross has walked away. I think it will be McAllister. He's the only player standing over the bright yellow ball now. Veltman is in some space on the right-hand side if he just wants to play it out to this near touch line. Martinez is trying to take up a position nearer the right-hand post, but making sure that he can get across the left-hand side, because he can go either way here. McAllister takes a long run up and curls it right-footed over the bar.
Yeah, got it up, but didn't get the ball down enough.
He's a very cultured player, isn't he?
Yeah, he had a little bit in the programme today, which is interesting reading, obviously growing up in Argentina.
He's got Scottish ancestry there, hasn't he? Hence the name.
Yeah.
McAllister in 2 syllables. 24 minutes played, 0-0 the score. You're listening to Game Day on TalkSport 2. Alex Crook and David Connolly. It's been another action-packed day of sport across the network, and not just football, of course. TalkSport 2, very much your home of cricket right now. And a reminder that India will resume on 300 for 6 in day 2 of the second test against England, thanks to a magnificent 161 by Rohit Sharma, and the TalkSport cricket team back Brighton breezy at 3:45 tomorrow morning. Set your alarms.
Well, there's another heavy challenge here from Veltman on Grealish, and he is a marked man. We've seen that, haven't we, this season? The amount of red cards. Lamptey obviously with 2 yellows against him.
It's a theatrical reaction again, though, from Jack Grealish.
Well, he can't, yeah, but
I know he's been caught, but you need to roll around and writhe in agony every time.
But he gets booted from pillar to post. He really does. So.
It looks all right to me.
Yeah, he looks all right now.
It's a free kick that Aston Villa are going to take. Douglas Luiz has placed the ball down just on the edge of the centre circle, inside Brighton territory. Douglas Luiz, the former Manchester City player, he took a while, didn't he, to find his feet at Villa Park, but he's had a really impressive season, like many of these Villa players.
Well, they were going to take it short and pass their way through, but they've sent the 2 centre-halves up, and Matty Targett, I think, is going to put this in the box.
Douglas Luiz just walking away. Matt Targett, the former Southampton Academy graduate, plays this out to the right-hand side. Tyrone Mings with an awful lot to do there, off balance. Had to arch his back to try desperately to head the ball and keep it in play. It's out for a throw, and it's a bit of a waste, David Connolly.
Yeah,
really.
it's another wasteful free kick from them. We've seen that with Traore, that one from Targett from deeper, and when you've got your 2 centre-halves up, you've got to make use of them, It was too flat a delivery, and unless it's perfect, it's always difficult for Mings to get on the end of that.
I guess the disappointment for Graham Potter, Brighton having dominated much of the opening 26 minutes, they haven't really forced a save from Emi Martinez yet. And as you've already said, that in some ways is the story of their season. They're fantastic to watch up until they get into the final third and they do struggle to create clear goal-scoring opportunities and to put those chances away.
Well, Veltman with another strong challenge, this time on Watkins, and Watkins he's had a couple too. So, look, I'm not saying they're getting dishing out heavy treatment, but obviously they do know that Grealish and Watkins are two huge threats for them. So whenever they're in possession, they're really aggressive on them.
Here's Tyrone Mings just inside the Villa half of the field. Conser takes over under pressure from Mopé, so feeds the ball out to right, and Cash, who tries the diagonal looking for Grealish. Veltman did well and is tugged to the ground by Jack Grealish. I think he's a bit frustrated, Jack Grealish, just at the moment. Give away another free kick.
But what they keep doing, they keep trying to find him, right? And who's the one player they haven't looked for? And that's Ross Barkley. He hasn't really been on the ball at all. I don't think you
mentioned his name.
No, but look, when they're switching the play, I like with Brighton, they try and force it in through the middle. They keep moving the ball side to side, recycling it, whatever you call it. Eventually they get one of those midfielders in the middle of the park, and then sometimes they switch it wide. But with Villa, it seems to be that diagonal is the only ball. I'd love to see him try and punch the ball into Barkley. He's just got to kind of get loose of Bissouma. He's actually just in the shadow of Bissouma a little bit too much.
I just wonder with Ross Barkley, and in fairness they haven't tried to find him tonight, but in the defeat against West Ham before the Arsenal game there was a suggestion that maybe he looked a bit jaded. He's played a lot of minutes this season, Ross Barkley. Dean Smith doesn't like to make too many changes. In fact, they've used fewer players than any team in the Premier League, and of course it's not something that Ross Barkley in his time at Chelsea was used to, playing week in, week out.
No, that's right, and I guess he's in that role, which is, it's the hardest part to do damage in. There's normally so many players in and around it, but Maddison does damage in that role, and Barkley, he's the one that they've got to try and get on the ball a little bit more.
I do like Bissouma driving forward there for Brighton, looking for Pascal Gross. He's given it away, but he wins it back. He's conceded a free kick, a bit unlucky there, Bissouma. For those of you maybe not listening to the build-up, I do think there's a strong chance that Liverpool, with Wijnaldum running down his contract, could well try and prize Bissouma away from the Amex in the summer. Graham Potter himself admitted to me a few weeks ago that he believes he is a player capable of playing at the highest level in the Champions League.
Well, I thought Wilfred Ndidi gave one of the best performances I've seen today for a midfielder. I thought it was absolutely outstanding. If I had the money, it'd be the one I'd be going to get.
Might be a more difficult deal to do, particularly if Leicester do qualify for the Champions League, but certainly an issue for Liverpool, with Wijnaldum looking like he won't be staying. Liverpool beaten 3-1 by Leicester in the game that David is alluding to there live on TalkSport earlier today. Burnley comfortable winners at Crystal Palace 3-0. I think they only scored 15 goals all season before this afternoon at Selhurst Park. And then just before we came on air, another 3-0 win, this time for Manchester City against Tottenham, and a lot of Spurs fans now starting to ask serious questions of Jose Mourinho after that defeat. Here is Jack Grealish inside the centre circle, plays it back into the Aston Villa half, and Douglas Luiz. They're starting to see a bit more of the ball now, Villa.
Well, yeah, but if you look at Grealish, look how short he comes, and he almost comes off the wing into the middle of the pitch, and Veltman goes all the way with him.
Here's Mopé. Villa having given the ball away deep inside their own half. Mopé goes to ground, and the free kick awarded right on the edge of the area again. Douglas Luiz, the offender this time, and just for a moment Brighton looked to take it quickly, but then realised actually we could go for goal from here.
Yeah, there's been so many stoppages. It's been very stop-start game so far, but this is another one in a good area. This is much better angle for a right footer on the left-hand side of the box, about 4 yards or so outside it.
Half an hour gone. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. You're listening to Game Day on TalkSport 2. And it's a free kick that Brighton will hope they can use to test the reactions of Emi Martinez, the Aston Villa goalkeeper. Pascal Gross and Alexis McAllister, the two players over the ball once again.
Well, they've got Grealish kneeling down behind them. Well, we've seen a few people lie down, haven't we? Chaiselon's style. This time Grealish has taken the knee in behind the wall just to prevent a low one.
I think it's going to be Gross on this occasion. Sizing up a shot on goal. Gross with a right-footed effort through that Aston Villa wall that parted like the Red Sea. No real power in the shot though, and straight into the arms of Emi Martinez. 0-0.
Yeah, it did jump. Obviously that creates a little gap, so I think it went down the outside of Barkley, but didn't really test the goalkeeper.
Pretty comfortable evening so far for Martinez. 11 clean sheets, only Ederson who kept another shutout today, has got more. I think he set up 2 at Manchester City's 3 goals as well, Edison, in that win that we were talking about live on TalkSport against Tottenham at the Etihad.
They're just finding it really difficult, Villa, to get their midfield on the ball. Brighton are just shadowing them, going manning them sort of mark man for man, and it's just so hard for them to find those players in the little pockets.
Target trying to break through the lines, stopped in his tracks by Ben White. Dean Smith wanted a free kick, referee says play on, and here is Trossard down by the corner flag. Gross wearing black gloves, plays it infield, and this is McAllister. Might get a shot off here from the edge of the area. Brilliant block by Concert, and then poke clear by Traore, but they can't get out again here, Aston Villa. Veltman knocks it down the line, didn't really look because there was nobody in blue anywhere near him, and it's cleared upfield by Target. That block by Esri Concert, David Connolly, we're going to see half a dozen of those tonight from Aston Villa. They are so good at putting their bodies on the line,
and they're going to have to, because that's where Brighton work the ball to get one of those midfielders free. And this time it's McAllister just off the front, and what do you do if you back off? Obviously you invite the shot, or maybe a little slip past the Mopé. So that time Concert had to come out of his slot.
Ollie Watkins is just changing his boots here. Tell us why he'd be doing that. Different stuff?
He might have moulds on, and then, look, I mean, they watered the pitch so much. There was a support staff member about 3 rows back from the front, and he obviously was turned around and he got absolutely soaked before the game. I mean, they've put an awful lot of water on this pitch, so he probably needs maybe a bit more grip.
You're listening to Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0 here on TalkSport 2 with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Don't part exchange, get money off your next car and go to WeBuyAnyCar.com. Brighton very much the team in the ascendancy in this first half, but so far unable to turn that territorial advantage into anything tangible in terms of goals. They have a throw in deep inside their own half. Joel Veltman, the former Ajax man, just dusting the ball down on his blue Brighton jersey. He's going to try and get maximum distance on this. Villa trying to box Brighton back on the edge of their own penalty area, and it's Traore who wins the header, but only into Trossard. A couple of keeping up from him, and then Pascal Gross off balance has given it away to Watkins. Basuma trying to close the door and concedes a throw. It was a bit too intricate there from Leandro Trossard. Should have just smashed it into the Aston Villa half. I'm sure that's what Graham Potter will be saying to him at half time, should anything come of this Villa throw in, which Matt Target will take on the left hand side into Barkley trying to turn away, and Basuma plays it back into his own penalty area, swept clear in the end by McAllister. 0-0 as Concert brings it down. He's caught late by Mopé. You can hear the yelp from Esri Concert, and again the referee deemed that wasn't a foul, much to the frustration of Dean Smith. Lost only one of his 6 managerial meetings with Brighton, the Aston Villa boss, who took charge of his 500th game earlier this season. And poked forward by Brighton to Mopé, tried to flick it round the corner for Gross. It's picked up by Mopé now deep inside the Villa penalty area. He drove it across the face of goal and chested clear by Martinez, and as Mopé put the cross back and he collapses over the top of the ball, there's a Villa player down.
I think it's McGinn down here.
Martinez bowls it out so that he can receive some treatment.
Well, I think Esri Concert can breathe a sigh of relief here, because he plays a pass blind straight to a Brighton player, and then they attack. Really sharp movement. This is when they look really good. Quick give and goes in and around the box. Nice little play. In the end, I think Mopé might have just taken it off the toe of Gross there. Pascal Gross might have been better off leaving it to Gross. In the end, it's one player less in the box. Little deflected ball up in the air, and McGinn just takes a little clatter from behind.
Aston Villa certainly contenders for at least a Europa League place this season. Europa League returns on TalkSport 2 this Thursday. 2 live commentaries back to back at 5 to 6. We have Real Sociedad against Manchester United, and at 8 o'clock Benfica against Arsenal. Of course, both those games being played at neutral venues due to COVID-19 restrictions. Here is Traore trying to make some space inside the Brighton half for Aston Villa. Goalless here at the Amex Stadium with 9 minutes the first half remaining on Game Day on TalkSport 2. Target goes back inside his own half to Mings. Brighton again pressing high and really making it very difficult for Aston Villa to get the ball forward. Douglas Luiz goes long, steered clear by Lewis Dunk, the Seagulls captain. Matty Cash picks it up on halfway for Aston Villa. Alzate with the tackle, and it bounces off Cash now for a throw in which Dan Burn wants to take quickly over on that left-hand side, 7 or 8 yards inside Villa territory.
Well, they've almost gone man for man in terms of when, Villa have possession. Burn goes in on Traore, then you've got Barkley's up against Dunk, and then White takes Grealish, and they're pretty bold and brave like that, aren't they? And they just keep Basuma in front of them screening, and at the minute Villa just can't get it into the front, not with any real quality anyway.
Brave is a really good word that you use there, because you have to have confidence in your own ability to play the way that Graham Potter wants you to, whether you're Mopé leading the line up front or Big Dan Burn trying to start attacks from the back, don't you?
Yeah.
Lovely switch of play out to Veltman on this right touchline, plucks the ball neatly from the Sussex sky. Veltman back in possession and clips it into the area, looking for the run of Gross. It was a clever idea, but seized upon by McKeon, who floats it forward to Grealish, and Basuma again comes in with a tackle and concedes a throw. I think at the moment Dean Smith will be quite happy to get back to the dressing room at half-time with 0-0 intact and almost tell his side just to start again in the second half.
Well, they keep getting another giveaway, this time from Ross Barkley. Simple throw.
And here's Trossard switching the play out to the left-hand side, into the feet of Alzate, running at Cash. Alzate into the penalty area, little back heel to McAllister. Here's a chance for Trossard, can shoot from the edge of the box, and that's a flying save at the near post by Martinez. Another brilliant Brighton move, and not for the first time this season. Emi Martinez to the rescue for Aston Villa.
Yeah, terrific strike here from Trossard, right on the edge, on the corner, one touch out of his feet, and he laces it. It's destined for the top corner, but it comes from a Villa giveaway. Another one. We've seen Conte do it, we've seen Barkley now do it. They've got to just be more secure, reliable in possession. Too many giveaways in their own half.
Brighton have a corner. It will be taken from the right-hand side by the German Pascal Gross. Lewis Dunk and Dan Burn summoned forward from the back once again. Gross with a delivery, not a bad one, and it flicks off the head of Dan Burn via a deflection out for another corner. Such whip on that ball as it came in. One of those where really the defender wouldn't have had to generate too much power. Dan Burn as he attacked it, but couldn't get it on target.
Yeah, we saw that, didn't we, against Burnley with Dunk's goal from Gross's corner. And this is where they need to make this count, don't they, Brighton? They need a goal, because maybe Villa won't be quite as lacklustre in the second half.
Lewis Dunk has scored 3 goals in his last 9 games in the Premier League. He will be licking his lips at the prospect of this ball played in by Gross towards Burn, this time with a header. Another flying save from Martinez. And Dan Burn must be wondering how he's not scored his first Brighton goal. Great delivery again by Gross, tremendous leap by Burn, angled the ball towards the top right-hand corner, and Martinez thrusts himself full length across the goal line and turns it behind.
Yeah, terrific. Little one-handed save there just to tip it around the post. And it feels like it's coming from Brighton, doesn't it? Just need a good delivery. Look, you can see Burn, you can see Dunk here lining up on the edge of the box, ready to steam in on this.
They've been knocking on the door, Brighton. Can they smash it down here from this corner? Gross again to take from the left-hand side this time, right-footed, hanging in the air. Dunk nods it across the 6-yard line. It's stabbed away, I think, by Barkley. Low cross in by Veltman. Dunk with a shot, blocked again by Aston Villa on the edge of the penalty area, but they still can't get out. Here's Trossard inside the 18-yard box. Could have cut it back for Burn. Tries a couple of step overs. Burn with a shot, blocked at the near post this time. Another Brighton chance.
Brilliant play from Trossard again. A lovely little deception here. Little Cruyff turn, then another one. And they're just keeping the pressure on. Dunk keeping the ball alive. And I think, look, Dunk is he's saying to the referee here, look, watch the hands, because Barkley, obviously it's a mismatch. Barkley up against Dunk. And he's saying, look, just keep your hands down, and keep an eye on Barkley.
Well, they've gone short this time with a corner. Eventually, Gross will look to play it into the penalty area. A little back heel into Trossard. Left edge of the 18-yard box. Here's McAllister. Tries to slide it forward to Mopé, and Ollie Watkins clears it away. It's clattered off the ball, and Dean Smith far from happy with that challenge. Free kick for Aston Villa. Well, and a chance for the visitors just to relieve this pressure.
But why did they take it short? Why take that corner short when you've had a contact on the last 2 corners, and Burns nearly scored off one of them, so it doesn't make any sense. They take it short and they end up losing possession.
Into the last 4.5 minutes of the first half, Dean Smith, ashen-faced, the Aston Villa manager, far from satisfied with what he's seen from his side. Brighton asking all of the questions, and 2 terrific saves from Emi Martinez to keep the scoreline blank. He's been the hero of the first half as far as Aston Villa are concerned. Villa unbeaten in their last 3 visits to the Amex Stadium. At the moment, you have to say that record is under serious threat. But it is still 0-0, and that will be the element of frustration for Graham Potter and his coaching team. Just 20 yards or so in front of us here at the Amex. We're right behind the Brighton bench in the press gantry. Here's Barkley with a back heel, but against McAllister, and it's launched forward by Gross down the right hand side, steered away by Tyrone Mings and kept in play by Targett, who's wriggled away from a couple of challenges, and he's played it forward to Bartley, trying to inject some pace here. Villa out to the right hand side, and Traore, an important clearance by Dan Burn, but Traore with a chance to cross it towards Watkins, and it was steered away. Good improvisation there from Ben White, because he was facing the wrong way and it was a dangerous ball in. Here's Grealish now down the left hand side for Aston Villa. He hasn't seen anywhere near enough of the ball for the away side. McGinn floats it out to the left touchline, half cleared by Pascal. Gross there complaining because Bartley was coming back from an offside position. Grealish with the ball into the area, too close to Sanchez, and Brighton will clear the danger.
We can see Gross, every time Grealish is in possession, he's got Veltman behind him, and then obviously Gross doubles up, just that 2v1, just trying to stop that threat of Grealish. And but again, sort of another attack for Villa just comes to nothing.
That's the view of David Connolly, the former Republic of Ireland striker. On Wednesday night we have 3 live commentaries for you at 6 o'clock. A Premier League exclusive here on TalkSport 2 as Burnley take on Fulham. Big game for Fulham after Burnley's win at Crystal Palace earlier this afternoon. And then a choice of listening at 8:15 here on TalkSport 2. Bournemouth against Rotherham in the Championship. John Woodgate will remain in caretaker charge for the Cherries. And over on TalkSport at the same time, Everton against Manchester City. That game that was cancelled over the festive period, of course, due to a COVID outbreak in the Manchester City camp. Manchester City 3-0 winners against Tottenham earlier today. Live and exclusive on TalkSport. Sounded like another excellent performance from Pep Guardiola's side. I think it's becoming now a question of how many points Manchester City win the Premier League by, rather than if they're going to take the trophy. Here is Watkins down the left-hand side for Villa, looking to end this first half with a flurry. Links up well with Targett, but he's got 2 Brighton players blocking his route to goal. Cleared away in the end inside the penalty area by Veltman. That's a great pluck from the sky by Trossard. Then he flicks it back, heels it against McGinn. Almost played a 1-2 with the Aston Villa man. He is a player oozing confidence, Leandro Trossard.
He is, but what he had there, he had nothing over the top. Mopé came short, Gross came short, and there was so much space. The Villa line was almost on the halfway line, and he just needed a run, needed Mopé just to spin off there and knock that ball in behind.
Last 80 seconds of the first half, 0-0 between Brighton and Aston Villa here on Game Day on TalkSport 2. Grealish into the feet of Targett, goes long, brought down by Watkins, who just for a moment there was goal side of Ben White. Plays it down the line to Barkley. Barkley up against Basuma, who once again wins it doggedly back for Brighton and concedes a throw. When Aston Villa have got the ball in and around the penalty area, they've very quickly, David Connolly, been closed down by the team in blue.
And they've been very, very aggressive, Brighton, in their defence. As soon as any of those players, Barkley, Watkins, Grealish, are on it, really aggressive, in hard. Quite a few times have all ended up on the floor, haven't they? And, nothing's really been given in and around the box, but I think it's been fair, just very, very aggressive.
I guess the only solace that Dean Smith will take from this first half is that his team can only get better in the second 45. We're about to see how many minutes will be added on as Villa give it away again on the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Sanchez, who hasn't had a save to make yet, plays it short out to Burn in the left back position. Now McAllister with room to turn midway inside the Brighton half. Forward it goes to Trossard. He's back to goal, just pads it down and finds Ben White. 1 minute only to be added on, and we're just about to enter that 1 minute here on TalkSport 2. Leandro Trossard looks up and strokes a lovely ball out this right hand side, and Veltman has to stretch to keep it in play, plays it against Targett, but the ricochet falls kindly for Ben White, midway inside the Villa half, away to our right. Veltman with a chance to cross. Mopé's made a good run to the near post. It goes to Trossard. Douglas Luiz got there ahead of him, and then John McGinn looks to set Watkins away on the counter-attack. He's going to have to do it all on his own here as we're joined once again by TalkSport listeners right at the end of the first half. 0-0 the score between Brighton and Aston Villa. We're into one added minute at the end of the opening 45. Emi Martinez with 2 excellent saves, the Villa goalkeeper, and really, David Conley, Brighton will be disappointed not to be in front.
Yeah, I think they've been brilliant this first 45, absolutely dominated the ball, created the 2 best chances of the game, and Villa just haven't got going.
And there goes the half-time whistle. Martinez racing back to the dressing room, very much the hero for Aston Villa. Brighton, the only frustration will be they haven't managed to make their dominance tell in terms of goals. Half-time here at the Emirates on a cold and chilly night in Sussex. It is Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. Thank you very much, Will. Only Manchester City have picked up more points than Brighton in the last 5 Premier League games. The one frustration for Graham Potter is that they aren't closer to 3 more here after a largely dominant first half performance. Alexis McAllister missing a good chance with a header, and then 2 excellent saves from Emi Martinez, denying first Trossard and then Dan Burn to give us a 0-0 scoreline for the start of this second half. No change in personnel from either manager. Brighton defending the goal away to our right hand side, wearing blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. They have Sanchez in goal, White, Duncan, Burn in defence, then come Veltman, Gross, Basuma and Alzate, with McAllister in behind Mopé and Trossard. Aston Villa, who have a throw in here, level with the penalty spot on this right hand side. They're wearing their usual claret shirts with sky blue sleeves, sky blue shorts and claret socks. Martinez in goal, Cash, Conson, Mings and Target in front of him as Cash hurls the throw into the area and headed away as far as McGinn, but a head tennis inside that 18-yard box before Veltman volleys it up into the Sussex sky. Douglas Luiz and John McGinn sitting deepest in midfield for Villa. Here's Barkley with a shot from the edge of the area, straight at Sanchez. Barkley part of a trio alongside Traore and Grealish in behind Watkins, and a better start, David Conley, to the second half from Aston Villa.
Yeah, you're right. Even on kick-off, the ball went up to the front, they secured it, sent it back, and that was a decent strike coming from Barkley, but again, it's just straight at the goalkeeper.
Barkley very much on the periphery in the first half. By no means the only Villa player to whom you can apply that comment as Trossard dances away from Traore. This is Alzate, the Colombian international, down the left-hand side for Brighton, out muscling Cash and pulling it back to Trossard just on the edge of the box. Here's a chance for McAllister to shoot. Deflected. That's a good save by Martinez. Not sure he knew too much about it, the big Argentine goalkeeper. He already dived full length to his right-hand side. I think it actually just struck his trailing legs, David, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it did. As you say, I don't think he knew too much about that, but good move again. Falls at the feet of McAllister just outside the box. He just laces it low. Little deflection. I think it caught his trailing leg.
And the saves are mounting up for Emi Martinez.
Here it is. It's Alzate with the good play out wide. Finds McAllister in the box. Little give and go, no Trossard. And then it falls back to McAllister. Might have gone through the legs of a Villa player, but in the end it's still a good save.
He's done really well, Martinez. So commanding. Such a good shot stopper as well. He did have that off night, as you alluded to, in the build-up against West Ham, but bounced back with a clean sheet against Arsenal. A game extra special to him, of course, last weekend.
Well, he made a great save from Xhaka, I think it was, with a free kick.
He did.
Yeah.
And he's so agile as well, isn't he? Covers that goal. At the moment, Martinez by far the busier of the 2 goalkeepers. 4 minutes gone in the second half. You're listening to Game Day on TalkSport 2. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0, on the day that Leicester City came from behind to beat Liverpool by 3 goals to 1. Jurgen Klopp throwing in the towel in terms of the title race after that game. Crystal Palace beaten 3-0 at home by Burnley, the same scoreline at the Etihad as Manchester City ease past Tottenham, and Ilkay Gundogan, for me, a contender for Player of the Year. 2 more goals and an assist in that game for Gundogan. Manchester City rolling along very nicely indeed.
Well, I saw them against Swansea, midweek, and he was here, there and everywhere. He made runs, he went along the back line, ran in behind, he didn't get it, he followed the ball. He was always connected, always offering himself, and he's having, as you say, a stellar season.
For all the reaction to the weekend's Premier League action, Download the Game Day podcast, available on Monday morning. I'm in a hot seat for Sam Matterface this weekend. We'll be joined by Darren Ambrose and Trevor Sinclair. Available via all the usual podcast suppliers. I'm sure Trevor will be waxing lyrical about that Manchester City win and about Gundogan as well. Here is Basuma for Brighton, just on the edge of the area, plays it out to the right hand side, and Ben White and Basuma now trying to accelerate over the halfway line. His touch was heavy, one back by McGinn, and here's Watkins in that number 11 shirt in bold numbers on the back of his Villa jersey.
Well, you're right, his touch was heavy, but because Villa was so deep, there was no one there to really take it off his toes, and that's where they just got, the back line of Villa just got to push the likes of McGinn and Douglas Luiz a little bit further forward, just get off their toes.
Can you still feel your fingers, by the way?
No.
These hand warmers are absolute rubbish, aren't they?
Who got you then? How's your feet though?
I got them from the pound shop. My feet are okay, actually. The feet ones work, the hand ones don't bother.
He's so ungrateful, isn't he? So ungrateful.
It is a crisp night here in Sussex. And we're relying on the players out on the pitch to warm our hearts with attacking football. It's been quite a laboured start to the second half, actually. Brighton just playing it around on the edge of their penalty area. Dan Burn forward to Alzate, trying to introduce some thrust to Alzate. Saw him score his first Brighton goal here in the FA Cup against Blackpool a month or so ago. Didn't know too much about it. It was a shot from the edge of the area that hit his back and went in. They all count. Stephen Alzate, one of the young players that Graham Potter has integrated into this Brighton team. That was another mandate when he replaced Chris Hughton, try and bring on some of the homegrown players. Ben White very much one of those as well. Had an excellent season on loan at Leeds in the Championship last season.
Well, we just see Jack Grealish on the ball, but again Gross comes back, doubles up, helps out Veltman, and just trying to stop that threat that Villa possess, and it's worked well. We've seen a lot of sides try it, haven't we, in terms of doubling up on him, stopping him.
Here is Grealish, forward to Traore, but stabbed away by Big Dan Burn again, and now picked up by Conter on the halfway line. Aston Villa 0, Brighton 0 here at the Amex. Villa seeing more of the ball in the second half, and Graham Potter just gesticulating for his players to get higher up the pitch again and try and press Villa in their own final thirds. They did to such good effect in the first half without actually being able to find a way past Martinez. Here is Basuma as the wind swells around the Amex. Basuma cushions the ball down back for Sanchez. Sanchez out to the edge of the area, and Lewis Dunk, the Brighton captain. Here's Burn now in for the injured Adam Webster.
The issue they've got, Brighton, they've done so well, haven't they, Alex, in terms of building from the back, Sanchez in goal, going into the midfield. The problem is then, when they look to the front, unless it's the perfect pass, that's where they got to get the midfielders on the ball, it's going to come back, isn't it? Because they've only really got Mopa out there, and obviously that height like that, long ball over the top, it's not going to stick, so that's where they really have to work on their possession game.
And Trossard is a pretty player to watch, but he's not really a natural striker, is he, playing up there alongside Mopa? I wonder if we might see Danny Welbeck as the game progresses. He's still sat just a few rows in front of us, Danny Welbeck. There are Brighton players out warming up. Percy Tau, the South African striker, is racing up and down the touchline, probably as much to keep warm as anything else. And Aston Villa have a free kick. Well, no 15 yards inside the Brighton half.
Yeah, another foul, this time Ben White on Jack Grealish. Just a little tug.
Are you keeping a tally?
Well,
must be half a dozen.
Yeah. Because look, obviously when you're up against a talented player like that, one way to stop him doing damage in and around your box is to foul him, there, closer to the halfway line. But then you want the referee, if you're a Villa player or if you're Dean Smith, you want those sorts of little sly challenges, professional fouls, you want them punished.
Free kick will be taken by Bertrand Traore, the former Chelsea man, 4 goals in his last 10 in the Premier League. He's going to just float this into the penalty area. Conser making a late run. Burn heads it clear as far as Mings, and then Conser claimed he was caught by Burn. The referee had already given a free kick the other way. He's a very honest player, isn't he, Dan Burn, having plied his trade with Wigan, I think Yeovil before that. Just shows Aston Villa are a case in point as well. The likes of Matt Cash and Ollie Watkins, you can find genuine talent in the EFL. I wonder, with the new Brexit regulations, maybe clubs might do that a bit more. We saw Liverpool do it with Ben Davis during the last window.
Yeah, What you don't want though is, you know, clubs then stockpiling talent and then not playing, you know, because some of these players are in this position here because they went and played a lot, you know. And how much game time is Ben Davies going to get? You need to go and play, you know. Look at Eze, QPR, going to play, you know, and then got that body of work, 100 odd games behind you. Same with Watkins.
That's where our loan system in this country is so important as well, isn't it? Players going out from top flight clubs into the lower divisions.
Yeah,
well, we're just getting that education.
Yeah, we had a Zoom. I couldn't make it this week, but with the PFA and lots of people in football, you know, at all the big clubs, and we were on it, and it was all about player youth loans, you know, that system to make it better.
Especially with no reserve team football now. Here is McAllister out to the right hand side. Gross has made a good run. Veltman bursting forward on the overlap, chance to cross here. Veltman into the area, low ball cleared away by Douglas Luiz, and it was never really the type of cross that was going to trouble the Villa defence. Here is Gross again. McAllister with room to turn, 10 yards outside the Villa penalty area. Brighton attacking the empty stand away to our left hand side, and the cross in from Gross and swept clear by Mings. Again Basuma brings it down the chest and into Dan Burn, who was caught by Traore. No free kick because Brighton's still in possession. Advantage played by Darren England, the referee. Brighton again dominating possession as they did for much of the first half, but Villa defending well enough. Basuma on the edge of the area into Alzate. Here's Dan Burn, who might let fly from distance, plays it into Trossard, back to goal, try to flick it over his head. I think he might be going for an overhead kick at one stage, but it's tamely into the gloves of Emi Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, they work it well. Here's Dan Burn, advanced position, comes into it, just bounces in front of Trossard, and it's that first touch, it just bobbles up. What you want there is just to kill that ball on the deck, then you might be able to wrap your foot around that in terms of bend it in that far corner past Mings.
He does need to add goals to his game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Leandro Trossard. Here's Grealish, maybe with a chance to get a shot away from the edge of the area, lifts it well wide in the end. In fact, it's going to trickle out for a throw. The first time really that Grealish has been given the space to cut in from that left hand side, get the shot away, but it was well wide of target from Jack Grealish, and by his high standards that was half a chance.
Yeah, and talking of target, I mean, we just haven't seen Matty Target, have we, in the final third, or, you know, Matty Cash. They haven't got there because Villa just haven't had enough sustained possession. Normally those two would be flying up and down the flanks, you know, going on the outside of Grealish, who comes in field, and Traore, but it hasn't happened so far. And that's what comes from being a ball possession team, you know, trying to dominate the ball to stop your opponents, then getting as many chances.
Don't forget, more live football coming tomorrow on Talk Sport. Exclusive Premier League commentary, Southampton against Wolves. Those two meeting the second time in quick succession. Southampton having knocked Wolves out of the FA Cup on Thursday. And on Tuesday night, Oxford against Tranmere in the Papa John's Trophy. That's a semi-final game, live on Talk Sport 2 from 6 at 8 o'clock on Talk Sport 2. We'll have Barcelona against PSG. What a tie that is in the last 16 of the Champions League. Meanwhile on Talk Sport, Leipzig against Liverpool, and Liverpool in dire need of a victory to kickstart their season in that game.
Well, one thing I have noticed in terms of Tyrone Mings and Contra at the back, if a ball is over the top, you know, they don't take any real chances in terms of, you know, taking it down and looking pretty. You know, the first thing is be a defender first. They've knocked it out of play, and I listened to John Stone say that about Pep this season. You know, just simplified his game. If it's not on, you know, just defend first. That's what they've done today. Might not be pretty, but at least they'll be trying to get a clean sheet.
Yeah, Manchester City have got plenty of those, haven't they?
Yeah.
Recently, and in fact, you mentioned Swansea. They succeeded, didn't they, where a number of Premier League teams are failing. They actually managed to put the ball in the back of the Manchester City net. It's not been easy to do. It's not been easy to score against Aston Villa either. 6 clean sheets away from home in the Premier League. That's the most in the division. And they've conceded 13 fewer goals than they had at this stage last season, when of course they spent much of the campaign flirting with relegation. It's the opposite end of the table occupying Dean Smith's thoughts at this moment in time. Goal kick they have with Martinez all in green. It looks like Adam Lallana, David Conley, your former Southampton teammate, is being readied.
Yeah. So we'll just have to wait. It could be someone like a Trossard, you know, filling into sort of that sort of position, or a McAllister position.
Here's Dan Burn on the halfway line for Brighton. Side foots it forward. Cleared by Cash under pressure from Alzate. Was that foul by Alzate? Not according to the referee. Matt Cash has gone down. off the pitch. Here's Trossard in the penalty area, cuts in from the left on his right foot, blocked by Concert. Still, Trossard has the ball, gets a shot away, just glances wide of the bottom corner. I think Martinez had it covered. Matty Cash, meanwhile, is still down. Looks like he's got a problem, David Connolly, with his right leg after that challenge from Alzate.
Yeah, I mean, Alzate just eases him off the pitch and he goes down. I don't know actually what happened there, but in the end it comes to Trossard. He tries a couple of little step overs, ducks infield. His first shot is blocked. Eventually comes to the second one. He just drags it past the near post. You never know, that might be his last action. It'll probably be him or McAllister, one of them.
It might be Matty Cash's last action as well, because it looks as if El Mohammadi has just been called to get ready by Dean Smith. Matt Cash still down, so Villa momentarily a man light, and that was a good effort in the end from Trossard, but I think Martinez did have that near post covered.
Well, he just moved the ball there, Martinez, from one side of a 60-yard box to the other. You know, whether that wastes 30 seconds, you know, but you can hear the Brighton staff just getting onto the referee. In the end, the referee said to him, right, come on, get on with it.
And that really is a reflection of where Villa are at in this game at the moment.
Yeah.
0-0 would be a good scoreline for them, having been outplayed for much of the opening 61 minutes. Still goalless on game day on TalkSport 2. The final instalment of what's been a fantastic Saturday of action. And El Mohammadi is going to come on for Matty Cash, just holding his right hamstring as he makes his way down the tunnel right in front of us here at the Amex. And that is a worrying sight if you're an Aston Villa supporter. John Terry just inquiring on Matty Cash's fitness, and meanwhile Brighton are going to make a change as well, and it's Alzate replaced by Lallana. As we welcome listeners from TalkSport, 61 minutes played, Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. We've just seen Leandro Trossard fire inches wide for Brighton, and David Connolly, Aston Villa still really haven't managed to trouble Robert Sanchez in the Brighton goal.
No, they haven't. I mean, it's been a really good performance from Brighton, and they've done everything really apart from score. You know, they just need that extra little bit of quality in and around the box.
We're going to have a free kick inside the Brighton half. Traore long into the area, but plucked from the sky by the giant Sanchez, and it remains Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0.
Well, it looks like Trossard now is going to play this sort of, maybe this left wing back role. Lallana just going to move infield a little bit.
Yeah, Lallana doesn't have quite the engine, does he, that Trossard does now in the veteran stage of his career, a former Premier League winner with Liverpool.
Well, he's not that veteran, is he? You know, when I heard that, you know, that little piece about him before the game, that's what you'd normally hear if you're sort of 35 or 36, but, you know, he's still got plenty of years left in him.
Here he is straight away on the edge of the area. Lallana, as Mopé tries to turn, gets his shot off. Bruno, the Brighton coach, punches the seat in front of him in frustration as Mopé's shot is blocked. Still Brighton posing most of the questions here, but it's always a worry as a manager, David, that when you dominate a game and don't score, the opponents will get one big chance and you end up losing 1-0.
Well, possibly, you know, but they keep things very tight at the back, and they've just restricted Villa to not a lot, so they're just going to, you know, hope that they keep probing and get those ball players on the ball. You know, here's McAllister, he's one of them. Can they create something gross? Lallana now.
Only one home win all season, only one home win since the first game back after lockdown when they beat Arsenal here in that ill-tempered affair for Brighton. As Gross gets a shot away again, it's a good block, I think, by Concert this time, and they do love defending this Aston Villa team.
Well, it's hard because, you know, they can't just swing the ball in the air in the box, Brighton, because it's so difficult for them to get a contact on it. You know, Mings is big.
Yeah, because actually from an attacking sense, I mean, it's okay when they've got a set piece and the likes of Duncan come forward and burn. They're not a tall team offensively, are they?
No, they're tiny, so, you know, this is where they've got to be really, you know, the closer the goal, more perfect you've got to be. Certainly for Brighton, that's the case.
They're trying to score the perfect goal here. Lallana out to the right-hand side, Veltman onto his left foot, gets a shot away! It's another brilliant one-handed save by Martinez. Very much the star man for Aston Villa, Joel Veltman, looking for his first goal for Brighton, cutting in from the right-hand side, arrows it left-footed towards the corner, and it's a strong wrist to palm it behind by Martinez.
Yeah, super save here. Veltman just ducks in, lashes this. I think it takes a little nick, doesn't it, off Matty Target. Looks like it might be sailing over Martinez. He just uses his higher hand here to help it around the post.
The way that he was going across the goal line. Short corner again from Brighton. Lana jostling for space inside the area as Trossard tries to take on Grealish. Trossard with a cross, laid off towards Pascal Gross, but slightly behind the German. Veltman puts it back into the 18-yard box, and this is where Villa can break. Brighton are committing men forward. Traore on the counter, and he's found Jack Grealish. Grealish on the edge of the area. Grealish taps it into Barkley. Maybe should have shot, might come back for Grealish, and in the end it's smuggled clear by Veltman. Good defending by Brighton, but Villa didn't really make the most of it. Here they come again though. The team from Villa Park. Watkins, who's had very little service, their leading goal scorer, plays it out to the left-hand side to McGinn. Barkley, I think, who's going to cross, right-footed from the left-hand side, over the head of Watkins, nodded away by Dunk, but Barkley might get another go here. Finally, Aston Villa applying some pressure on the home team. Barkley's going to shoot from the edge of the area, deflects off Veltman, and Aston Villa have their first corner. It's taken 65 minutes.
Yeah, they just did enough there, Brighton, in terms of getting bodies back as Villa broke. Lovely pass, this is from Traore, just to pick out Grealish, but, you know, great defensive work. They just flood back, get the numbers back, and just smother the danger.
And Trezeguet is going to come on for Traore, and Traore leaving the pitch behind the goal away to our right-hand side. The Egyptian, who's found game time hard to come by this season, Trezeguet, hasn't started a game in the Premier League since the end of November. Traore looks a bit frustrated as he slowly trudges back to the technical area. Villa meanwhile have a corner from the left-hand side, 0-0 with 66 minutes played here on Game Day on TalkSport 2. Tyrone Mings has come forward to try and test this Brighton rearguard. In it comes, but headed up and away by Lewis Dunk, the captain. Gets the second header clear as well, and then Pascal Gross sweeps it on the volley into the centre circle. Target launches it back towards the area, flicked on by Watkins. Grealish is onside as the Brighton defence stood, arms in the air, looking for Watkins. Watkins has fouled Dunk, who did well to run across his path, and it's a free kick for Brighton.
Yeah, just these two linking up. We haven't seen that too often, have we, in this game, but ball just pumped back in. Watkins just helps it on Grealish. Was he onside? Well, as he gets this little flick on, I think Grealish might have been off, but anyway,
VAR would have intervened, yeah, led to a goal.
Just the return pass was a little bit too heavy in front of Watkins. He just made that little lunge on Dunk.
Dean Smith deep in conversation with John Terry, wearing an earpiece, and Richard O'Kelly as well, another trusted lieutenant for the Villa manager. You're listening to Brighton against Aston Villa on TalkSport 2 with Now TV. Don't forget you can watch Arsenal Leeds live tomorrow with the Now TV Sky Sports Pass for just £9.99. Search Now TV as Brighton come forward again on this left-hand side with Leandro Trossard cutting in on his right foot. Can he get a shot away from the edge of the area? Fake to do so, then came back on the left-hand side, goes back in field again, Trossard, and Douglas Luiz wins it back, but has only cleared it as far as Dan Burn. Burn with a shot moving in the air. It was a more comfortable save, straight into the gloves of Martinez.
Yeah, I think it was worth a strike actually there. Good power, didn't really have any sort of direction on it though, so straight down the throat. Martinez, it's just another giveaway, and we saw so many of them in the first half, this time from McGinn. That's creeping back into their game.
It's been an off-key performance from Aston Villa on an afternoon and evening when they had the chance to make up ground. Certainly on Liverpool, thrashed in the end by Leicester. 3 goals in the space of 7 mad minutes for the Foxes after Liverpool had taken the lead through a great goal from Mohamed Salah. Just a footnote in the end to the overall story. You heard that live and exclusive on TalkSport this morning. Here's Pascal Gross putting a free kick into the Villa area, headed clear by Watkins. Dunk nods it back down, and it's volleyed away in the end by McGinn, but they don't get much distance on it again. McAllister with a shot, blocked by Conter, not for the first time this evening. Ben White dinks it into the area. Good header away by Matt Targett, the left back. And this is Pascal Gross now for Brighton with 69 minutes played, still goalless at the Amex. The floodlights shining brightly, hanging from the corrugated iron roof above our heads here. And we're just grateful it's not raining, because we are in the press seats, and if the heavens do open, then you do tend to get wet at this ground. Bit of a design flaw. Here is Lewis Dunk now for Brighton. Basuma skipping away from McGinn and finding McAllister. Drops the shoulder. And then he's barged over by Douglas Luiz. That's a free kick, and I think the frustration with Dean Smith will be that there were several of those not given in the first half. It's a yellow card as well, David, for Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, I think, I can understand that, because really good play here from McAllister. Just trying to cut across Douglas Luiz. He just leans into him probably a little bit too much, too obvious, right in front of the referee. And McAllister, I think, has been really bright, don't you? I think he's had an excellent game. He's looked the most likely. Yeah,
real breezy performance from him. Let's check the latest odds with 888 Sport. Brighton 13-5 to win the game. The draw is 4-5. You can get Villa at 3-1. These are the latest odds from 888 Sport. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Free kick here for Brighton. Pascal Gross takes it short to Trossard. Gives it back to Gross. And not particularly quick to react to that, Villa. Trossard with a cross. Blocked by Trezeguet. Brighton continuing to huff and puff at the moment. They haven't quite been able to blow Villa's doors down. In it comes from Veltman. Cleared away as far as McAllister. He's impressed David Connolly to my left. Here is McAllister. Out to Trossard on the left-hand side. Trossard stands up the cross looking for the run of McAllister, and actually did Martinez catch him there? It was risky from the goalkeeper. It's a corner. McAllister beats the green grass in frustration. And it looked like the ball was going to have too much power from McAllister, who, to his credit, kept it alive, and Martinez did well in the end.
Yeah, he did. Like, can they use their height here, in terms of...
don't take it short should be the first instruction,
exactly.
Surely. Dunk waiting in the centre among others. Gross, deep delivery towards Dunk at the far post, heads it down. Lallana on the volley, well blocked by Grealish. One former England player denied by a current member of Gareth Southgate's squad, and very much one of the key men going into those European Championships in the summer. Offside flag up against Trezeguet, and a free kick for Brighton, 2 yards outside their own penalty area. We've played 72 minutes here on Game Day on TalkSport 2. The last of three live and exclusive Premier League commentaries on this Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow we're at St Mary's for Southampton against Wolves. It's a midday kickoff live on TalkSport. And two teams who found victories in the Premier League hard to come by in recent weeks. Actually, Aston Villa are struggling to put together a consistent run of results just at the moment as well. Are they heading for a frustrating point there? I say a frustrating point on the balance of play. They'd probably be quite happy.
Well, they've just sent Danny Welbeck to go and get warmed up. I don't know whether they just asked as well Aaron Connolly, but I don't know whether he shook his head or I'm just imagining it, but he just rooted to his seat. Unless he's got the nod that he's going on, I don't think he's going to be warming up.
It's a night when you need to keep warm. I'd love to be racing up and down that touchline, I tell you. Here's Lallana into Pascal Gross, just forced wide by Target, but the cross can still come in from Veltman. Headed away by Mings, and they're always going to be favourites for those aerial balls, Villa. Another good performance from Tyrone Mings at the heart of the Aston Villa defence. A good partnership he's formed alongside Ezri Konsa. Wasn't always the case last season. And Villa were susceptible to conceding. Here's Mopé in the area, away from Konsa. Can he get a shot off? In the end, he sliced it wide. He feels he was impeded by Tyrone Mings. For me, just threw his body in the way of the ball, as Villa love to do. He's probably first real sighter of goal for Mopé.
Yeah, he's probably disappointed with this in terms of, it's a really good chance. I think he's just a little bit off balance. I don't know whether you're saying there was a bit of a push there, but obviously there's going to be contact that close to goal. Mings just gets his arm across him and just got to be a little bit stronger. In the end, takes it down onto his left foot and misses it past the near post.
16 minutes for one of these two teams to find a winning goal. In truth, it hasn't really looked likely as far as Aston Villa are concerned. And they've already accumulated 35 points this season. Villa, that was as many as they got in the whole of the last campaign. And of course they only secured survival on the final day against West Ham. Jack Grealish with a goal, sending Bournemouth into the Championship. Bournemouth drawing 0-0 at Nottingham Forest earlier today on TalkSport 2. And they're back in action on Wednesday night, Bournemouth, here on TalkSport 2 at home to Rotherham. That's an 8:15 kick-off at the same time on TalkSport we have Everton against Manchester City. Can Carlo Ancelotti's side stop the Manchester City juggernaut rolling? Here is Trossard for Brighton in the left-back position inside his own half. Flicked on by Adam Lallana. Trezeguet keeps it in play and is then pushed to the ground by Dan Burn. Not that the Brighton staff agree with that, but it is a free kick in the right-back position. Probably did have hands on back there, Dan Burn. And a chance for Villa to punt this ball forward. 0-0 the score, 15 minutes to play. It's getting colder, I can tell you. Graham Potter just shaking his head as he makes his way back to the...
Well, they probably want Dan Burn booked for that, you know. That's what the staff are saying. He threw the ball away, made the challenge and then threw the ball away.
I think we're going to see Morgan Sanson here, coming on for only his second Aston Villa appearance. The January signing from Marseille, a former French under-21 international. Was actually first spotted by Dean Smith when he scouted Frederic Gilbert, the defender they signed last season, now out on loan. So they've been tracking him for some time. Sanson, a very cultured player. Can he come on and weave some magic here to turn 1 point into 3? And Brighton would feel very hard done by if that does happen.
Well, Bissouma's gone down here because he just reads that Barkley's coming inside. Barkley doesn't really know where Bissouma is, and he hasn't had a great game in that number 10 role.
Well, he's going off Ross Barkley.
Yeah.
For Sanson.
It's a tough role because, you know, there's always there'll be the Makelele role, isn't it, where you'd always have a player in that sort of vicinity, if not two. And when you're playing as that number 10, you've just got to have eyes in the back of your head the whole time, knowing if I go that way, okay, there's a man there, I've got to come the other way, got to take it to the opposite side, etc., just to retain that ball. And he's had a tough evening, Barkley.
He started well, didn't he? Scored in his first 2 games for Aston Villa, only 1 goal since then.
He scored a great goal against Southampton, absolutely brilliant
team goal, wasn't it? And he took it well. As I mentioned earlier, hasn't played a lot of football for Chelsea over the past couple of seasons, so perhaps that's just taking its toll in this most congested of campaigns. Here's Trezeguet neatly away from Burn and from Trossard. I think he was being fouled by Trossard. It's a free kick, and then a bit of pushing and shoving between Trossard and Trezeguet, all a bit needless really. It's a yellow card for Leandro Trossard. He's been a bit card happy, isn't he, Darren England? I know it's Valentine's weekend, but doesn't need to take it too literally, does he?
Well, he's stopped the game so much, hasn't he? It just hasn't had any flow. There's been a lot of free kicks. Probably one of the... I don't think I can recall a game where there's been so many free kicks. He hasn't really let anything flow.
Do you think there's been more cards in this game than you'll find on your doormat tomorrow morning? 4 bookings now?
Yes, I think there'll be 4 more. I think there'll be many. Like that. And it's my daughter's birthday the next day, so there'll probably be some for her.
Free kick here for Aston Villa as we're joined again by listeners over on Talk Sport. Crossed into the area by Douglas Luiz, but again Brighton deal with the danger comfortably enough. Still goalless here at the Amex. And it's Aston Villa attacking down the right hand side with Douglas Luiz. Sanson races to try and keep the ball in play. He can't, and it's a Brighton throw. David Conley.
Well, Danny Welbeck is getting ready, so he is going to come on. I wonder if that will mean a change of shape in terms of 2 up top. You'd probably think so. If they go light for light, then it's, I think, taking away Mopé. I think needs a bit of help up there.
I'll tell you what, if he takes Mopé off, watch his reaction. He is a tad on the temperamental side. With 12 minutes to go, Danny Welbeck is indeed being ready. And it remains Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. Are we going to get a winner in the final throes of this one? Aston Villa have taken more points away from home than they have at Villa Park this season. 19 points on their travels, 16 on their own stomping ground. And I guess the first priority in the Premier League when you come away from home is not to get beat. So on that basis, Dean Smith can take the positive, but they haven't played anywhere near their best, have they?
No, they haven't. You know, look, prior to, I think, the Arsenal game, they had something like, 6 games in 18 days. You know, you're playing, once every 3 days. And maybe they just, it's just an accumulation. And here, they'll take a point, knowing that they haven't been at their best. As long as I think they can keep the clean sheet, that will really please them.
I mentioned earlier, didn't I, the lack of players that they've used, Aston Villa, this season. Before today, it was about 19 changes their starting 11. To put that into perspective, United have had 65. Manchester United, so that's 3 times as much almost. So as much as Dean Smith wants a settled team, when you're playing as many games as you just said they are, that is going to cause a problem. Danny Welbeck is coming on for Neil Maupay, who's doing his best not to look over to the touchline. He was in the centre circle, staring in the opposite direction, Neil Maupay. He is sprinting to come off, but I don't think he'll be particularly delighted about the decision.
No, but I guess, he'll understand as well that probably Brighton will be accepting of a point now that it's a like-for-like change, rather than losing a player from the middle of the park, which they'd have to do with 2 up top, and they might lose a bit of that control, so he's just gone like-for-like.
Got a good record against Aston Villa. Danny Welbeck, 5 goals in his last 5 appearances, scored in that win at Villa Park, a terrific solo strike. They just need to keep him fit, Brighton. And that's been the problem, isn't it, really, since he left Manchester United. Spell at Arsenal and at Watford last season, and now looking to revive his career here at the Amex. He was a player at one stage, was a go-to man in the England squad, Danny Welbeck. As Lallana tries to play it out with his left-hand side, and Trossard cleared up in the air by El Mohammadi, brought down by the gangly Byrne, and he knocks it back to Sanchez, the orange-shirted Brighton goalkeeper, away to our right. 9 minutes to go, still 0-0 here on game day on TalkSport 2. Emi Martinez at the moment, David, probably a contender for man of the match, is he?
Yeah, he's made a couple of really good saves, and that's what you need when you're under the cosh at times. And they'll keep probing, and I think Dan Byrne's done really, really well.
He always does, and he's just one of those pros who just does the job, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you can see he had that strike at goal, and as soon as it left his boot, he just got on his bike and just recovered, got back into a defensive position. I'm sure Graham Potter probably loves him. They'll probably call him the manager's son or whatever.
Here come Brighton down their right-hand side. Veltman infield to Lallana's got a bit of space to work with midway inside Villa territory. Punts it forward for McAllister, and then rolled by Gross out to Veltman on that right-hand side. Here's Gross again. Can Brighton find a winner their play would deserve at the end of this match? It's with Basuma now in the bright pink footwear. You have to be a good player to get away with those boots. In comes the cross from the right-hand side from Veltman. Cleared by Douglas Luiz, who's being fouled by McAllister. Needless free kick to concede, really, right in the centre of the Aston Villa half. Just when Brighton were building up ahead of steam, Douglas Luiz is down and looks like he might need some treatment.
Well, what I would say is that, probably with Veltman, I think he'll do great for you defensively, but he's not a Lamptey in terms of those balls into the box, and a couple of crosses he's had in this second half, they've always been behind the attackers and easily cut out by Villa.
You're listening to Brighton against Aston Villa on TalkSport 2 with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Don't part exchange, get money off your next car. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com. Percy Tau, the South African, just coming to take his seat back on the bench. Doesn't look like we're going to see him in the final 7 minutes plus added on time. 0-0 the score at the Amex. It will be a club record for Brighton, 6 Premier League games unbeaten. And another positive step towards safety, another point in the right direction against the Villa team, rubbing shoulders with the big boys. So on that basis it will be satisfactory for Graham Potter, but I think he will still feel that his side have done enough to win it. Here's Dan Byrne, chests it down the left-hand side for Brighton, then sprints over the halfway line, plays it out to Trossard. He's continued his run, Byrne. Trossard comes infield for Basuma instead. Byrne has stayed forward, and Basuma goes back to the halfway line, and Ben White out to the right-hand side, and Veltman, the Dutchman. Forward to McAllister, who's made a good run into the penalty area, well defended by McGinn. First of all to intercept the pass, and then to clear it out for a Brighton throw over on that far side.
Yeah, he had to. Terrific from McGinn there, and they are still probing. They are still looking most likely, I've got to say, Brighton.
Just need that one big chance now, you feel. Tyrone Mings heads it down inside his own penalty area. Lallana to Welbeck, hooks it goalwards. Another good save by Martinez, but maybe Welbeck will be disappointed. He didn't make firmer contact inside the 6-yard box. Mings had headed it half clear. Lallana back into the area. He just couldn't quite get proper purchase Welbeck, and it was a relatively easy save in the end.
Well, he just had to try and wrap his foot around Ezri Konsa, which is hard to do. He had his arms all over him. Starts with a poor header though from Tyrone Mings. He's got to clear his lines there.
Here's a corner for Brighton. Burn is forward, so too Lewis Dunk, headed clear by Trezeguet. Basuma nods it back towards the penalty area, flicked on by Burn. Mings under pressure from Welbeck just ushers it back to Martinez, who collapses over the top of the ball. And on a day of goalkeeping blunders, Martinez once again has excelled for Aston Villa. Here is Douglas Luiz. Danny Welbeck being encouraged by Bruno, the former Brighton defender, to our left-hand side. Underneath that grey bobble hat, Bruno. What a good player he was for the Seagulls during their climb from the Championship into the Premier League. This is Ahmed El Mohammadi down the right-hand side for Trezeguet for Villa. Still haven't found top gear yet, but they're still in this game at 0-0 with 5 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Matt Targett forward down the left touchline. Here's Grealish, always capable of a moment of magic. Plays it forward. Lewis Dunk just out muscling Trezeguet, and then it's cleared into touch once again by Dan Burn. Throw in for Villa, 10 yards inside the Brighton half of the field. Aston Villa on course to accumulate their best points all in the Premier League since Martin O'Neill was manager back in 2010. He led them into Europe from memory. Here is Watkins out to the left-hand side and Jack Grealish. Cutting infield Grealish. And back to the edge of the centre circle, and Douglas Luiz. It's a poor ball by Douglas Luiz. He was looking for Watkins. He's played it straight out for a throw. And Graham Potter clapping his hands together, not just to keep warm, but I think David Connolly just asking for one final push in the 4 minutes that remain.
Yeah, because I think they probably realise that, you know, they've certainly had the better of Villa here. A side obviously on their day can beat anybody.
Here's Welbeck stretching the Aston Villa defence. Konsa did really well. It was basically a race for pace between those two, and Konsa got there ahead of Danny Welbeck and was then fouled for his trouble. He's improved so much, hasn't he, Ezri Konsa, since last season?
Yeah, he has. He's another player, obviously, you know, that Dean trusted from Brentford to bring in. Knows him well. He's adapted to the Premier League. And I guess you could look at Potter and go, well, he had a choice of who to bring on up top. He's got, obviously, Welbeck, and he's got Aaron Connolly down here. You know, maybe that ball that you spin in behind for the last few minutes, the pace of Connolly might just, you know, might just helped a little bit more, maybe.
You'd argue that Welbeck is a more instinctive finisher, though, than Aaron Connolly. Here's Konsa with a header clear for Villa. Picked up on this near touchline by Trezeguet. Flicks it infield for Douglas Luiz. Tries to give it back to Trezeguet. Cleared by Dunk. And now Basuma hooking it forward. Welbeck trying to get there ahead of Konsa. Bounces off Konsa's head, and El Mohammadi back to Tyrone Mings, who will be closed down by McAllister. So just pats the ball down for Martinez, and he clears it away towards the halfway line. Brighton still hassling and harrying, but Villa might be able to come forward here with Sanson. Finds Douglas Luiz, and then Sanson fouled by Basuma. Referee a bit slow to give that free kick, but it was definitely a foul by Basuma inside the centre circle. Both players are down on their haunches. It was a clever turn actually from Sanson. It's a brave manoeuvre as well, because I kind of feel like he knew he was going to get clattered there by Basuma. Not one to pull out of a tackle, is he?
No, he's certainly not. He's done well in there, hasn't he, in the middle of the park, just screening things in front. Just made it hard for Villa to get the ball into their front three.
Well, Brighton are the draw specialists in the Premier League. This would be their 11th draw of the season. Still time for some late drama though, as the free kick is taken by Konsa. He just tried to angle it out to the left-hand side. One back by Brighton, and it's with Leandro Trossard, the diminutive Belgium. Skips away from Sanson, was fouled by the Aston Villa sub, and it's a yellow card. A perplexed look on the face of Sanson, but I think it was a cynical challenge. John McGinn having missed the first tackle. Well, it might have been McGinn who hauled him down actually, but I think the booking was in Sanson's way.
I just wonder though, if I was, you know, this late in the game, you got a free kick here, would you put Dunk up there and go, you know, let's just play a little bit direct, certainly just on the free kick? Instead they go back to the goalkeeper, try and build.
Looks like two teams who've settled for a point now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
as we move into the final minute of the 90. Veltman might not have settled for a point. Purposeful run towards the area. Here's Trossard. Cuts onto his right foot. Out to Pascal Gross in the right wing position. Turns away from McGinn. Gets a low cross into the area. Douglas Luiz slides and stabs it clear on that far side for a throw.
Well, it's the one time that, that actually Dan Burn was up there. They could have, if he'd have got his head up there, he might have been able to, see where Burn was up there and put one in the air. Instead he goes along the ground again. It's easily cut out.
Voice of David Connolly, the former Republic of Ireland international, underneath a hood. Actually, from this angle, you look a bit like Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars underneath that hood.
Me and David Moyes, the same.
We're into the final 15 seconds of normal time. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. You're listening to Game Day on TalkSport 2. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, midday kickoff on TalkSport, Southampton against Wolves. We're about to see how many added minutes there will be. 3 is the answer. Dean Smith in the centre of the sandwich that is John Terry on one side and Mitchell O'Kelly on the other. Stood behind the dugout. And his team have conceded a free kick.
Well, Lallana here just...
Foul on Lallana 5 yards outside the area.
Yeah, just seized on a misplaced touch from Trezeguet. It's more or less middle of the goal, about 5 yards outside the box. There's a queue of players. I just wonder whether McAllister, he's had quite a few goals already today, whether he'll get one more, or it might be Trossard. We'll have to wait and see. There's about 3 or 4 players over this.
Well, this is now or never territory as far as Brighton are concerned. They've been the better team. They've forced numerous saves from Emi Martinez at the moment. All that's lacking is a goal.
Well, I think he has given it to Trossard here, giving a little pat on the back and go on then.
It's just to the right of centre, 6 yards outside the area. Trossard just adjusting the ball so that he can strike it on the valve. Ronaldo style. It's not been the greatest game that you will see. Are we about to get a great goal in stoppage time? Again, Grealish is crouched down behind the 5-man Aston Villa wall. McAllister has made a decoy run. Trossard is a weak free kick straight into that wall. The follow-up effort easily saved down low to left by Martinez, and really that free kick sums up the lack of quality in the final third.
Yeah, I think it was going off target anyway. He might have struck Conser in the wall, came back to him, this time on his left peg. Takes a couple of bounces, no real pace to really trouble Martinez. Who, look, when you're not at your best, then you're going to face a side who have a lot of possession, might have a few shots from distance or whatever, and you wouldn't say they've had really clear chances, no real big chances, but certainly when he's had to make saves, he has.
Welcome to listeners from TalkSport for the final minute of 3 added on here at the Amex. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. Emi Martinez, by far the busier of the 2 goalkeepers, made a couple of really good saves, particularly in the first half, for the long-range effort to deny Trossard and a header from point-blank range from Dan Burn. Aston Villa have struggled really to force Robert Sanchez, the Brighton goalkeeper, into any meaningful action. It's been a stubborn defensive display once again, though, from Dean Smith's side. It will be 12 clean sheets, David Connolly.
Yeah, that's brilliant for them. It really is. That's progress from last season. And look, if you're not at your best, certainly you just keep it tight. We come away from home, we get a point and we go again.
15 seconds for Brighton to find a winner. They have a throw on the halfway line. Joel Veltman in a hurry to get it forward. The 2 managers preparing for the post-match fist pump. I think both in their own way will be reasonably satisfied. And in fact, the half-time whistle is blown, the full-time whistle is blown a few seconds early. It's a little piece of Premier League history for Brighton. The first time they've gone 6 matches unbeaten in the competition. But for Emi Martinez, it may well have been all 3 points for Graham Potter's side. A series of excellent saves from the informed goalkeeper in the Premier League. Aston Villa missing the chance really to close the gap on the European places. For Brighton, it's another significant step towards survival at this level. Full time at the Amex. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0.